Okay, Tongass Rainforest Ecology Take 2, and I'm going to film it sideways so that Nathan doesn't bitch at me because he's a little bitch. Bitch. Anyway, I'm now on the Deer Mountain Trail. This is like an actual nature hike, not just a path leading to a hotel, so we're further out in the forest here. A little bit more variety. So start with the stuff I already showed you. Western hemlock, that's the common one with the toothpicky needles on it. Then Sitka spruce is that one up there, tall, straight. And here we have a few Douglas firs. It looks similar to the spruce, but the needles are much longer and not as sharp. They're rare here, and it's actually strange that there's so many of them growing in one place here. Don't think it's as common anywhere else that I know of on the island, actually. But more common than that are the hemlocks, the spruces, and this is a red cedar. Cedar's maybe 5 to 10% of the forest. It usually grows further inland where the soil is deeper. It's the slowest growing of the local trees. And it can take centuries to get the size that it would take a hemlock only a few decades to. So it's at a disadvantage compared to the others. It needs deeper soil, a little bit more water. Excellent wood. Smells nice too. People use it as an insect repellent, and the Indians here use it to build, just about everything that they made. Houses, canoes, totem poles. That's all cedar wood. Now, we have a little bit more undergrowth here, so I can point out some more of the plants. These little guys on the ground, those are called deerberries. They're just blossoming right now. You see the little white flowers. They have a cluster of berries later on in the summer, which, as the name implies, the deer are quite fond of. Poisonous to humans, but I guess there's an advantage of having 4 stomachs rather than just one, or however the hell many deer have. I forget. They have a bunch of stomachs. Some other interesting ones. The marigold flower I mentioned to you before, but here you have it by itself away from the thistles so you can see it better. It's kind of buttercup colored, different kind of plant though. And of course the ubiquitous salmonberry. It's actually really convenient that the salmonberry is so common here. It's not quite as common in the middle of the growth like here, but it predominates more on forest edges, but even here it's never that hard to find. This guy with the big leaves is called skunk cabbage. Doesn't smell anything like a skunk. It has a very strong scent, but not skunk-like. Actually, it smells more than anything else like marijuana. The deer are very partial to the leaves. Bears tend to eat the flowers. It's summer now, so the flowering season is over. Not digestible for humans, but it's used as a spice sometimes. You can wrap meat or fish in it and roast it inside of it, and flavors it through. Now, I was hoping to find some Devil's Club here. That's the nasty one. It's actually very medicinally useful, the Devil's Club. It's got these really awful thorns all over it, and they're actually hydraulic, just sort of like a bee sting. If they get out in your skin, they'll actually work their way deeper in with a hydrostatic system. So you have to really dig around with tweezers to get them out. But the plant itself has it's good neurological inducer. It boosts healing, and it's a powerful disinfectant. Actually, I suspect that the reason that it has those god-awful thorns is because the Indians harvested it so much for medicine. That may actually be a specifically anti-human defense mechanism it evolved. But yeah, like I was saying, this is the Douglas fir. Rare. It's just this one place has millions of them, and I don't know why. The forest in general is just really dense. Not even because of undergrowth plants, the trees themselves just grow really close together. Largely I think that's just because evergreens are so narrow that they can afford to. More the huckleberry bushes. Like I said, smaller leaves like this, probably the blue, can't tell yet since it's not fruiting. Could also be red. Mentioned the tall grass in the last version of this video. This is actually not as tall as the last patch that I showed. It can get to be, like I said, almost 2 meters tall. Used to know the name of this type of grass, though I forget it. Now this sort of flatter area here with all these lower plants, it's sort of marshy. It's called a muskeg. Basically these flooded mud flats. Lots of quicksand, lots of swampy type plants. This is where you can find wild cranberry. There isn't any here, or if there is, then I haven't spotted it. But there's actually a lot of cranberry pickers here in the southeast Alaskan area. Lots of other, it's really just sort of berry central. There's salmonberry, thimbleberry, wild raspberry, blueberry, huckleberry, something called the salalberry. It's this little blue guy that tastes like honey. There's wild strawberries, cranberries, and a million different poisonous ones as well. I don't know if this is a game trail or if this is just a social trail that some hikers went off the path and made. Doesn't seem to continue so much on the other side, so I'm going to think that it would be a social trail rather than an animal one. Okay, so here's another spruce. You can see that the needles are long and sharp, not nearly as long as the Douglas firs, and also much more rigid. Not hardly any give to it, and it's sort of surprising that you can actually eat this, the tips of it, in the springtime. I mentioned that in the last video. Ooh, banana slug. Yeah, there's two types of slugs in our forest. The brown slug and the yellow banana slug. You can see why it gets its name. Yellowish, and it even has little brown speckles on it, like a slightly overripe banana. I'm not going to call them cute, but they're nice, I guess. Things rot pretty fast here. We get about 14.5 feet of rain every year, so moss just quickly covers everything that dies. Guess that's probably everything that I can show you right at this spot. It's too bad. I was hoping I would find a Devil's Club here. But yeah, I think that gives you a fairly good sense for what the forest here is composed of. Bye.